first off, I want to thank everybody for having me here tonight. I really appreciate it. And you know what? I don't get to make it home very often, so home cooked meals is a foreign thing to me. So, you know, I want to thank all of you tonight for supplying the potluck and stuff. And it was really good, and I feel like I got the best of everybody's home tonight, which is always nice. So, why don't you guys give yourself a round of applause for supplying a great. Speaking of meal, our school is known for having a wind turbine, a windmill, and whatnot behind our school. And I had to give things. I don't know if the person is here who came up with the idea of having one of those at our school. That has helped me get so many speeches started this year. It's not even funny. I always start off by saying, so and so gave me so many good directions on how to get to your school and whatnot. I'm used to just telling people, look for the windmill and head that way, and you usually find our school. So it's kind of nice having that as a landmark to tell people how to get to our school. But no, thanks to the windmill and stuff. And I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about tonight. And the most speeches I've ever talked about, talk about being motivational, all the opportunities that the F.F.A. has to offer. And I think everybody knows what the F.F.A. has and all the things you can do to the F.F.A. But I guess what I want to do tonight is kind of talk about how important the F.F.A. is to me and where it stands in my life. And I've always been told family comes first, and I've kind of lived by that. So my mom, bless her heart, she's already over there taking pictures, and she's always worried about me. She's always asking where I'm at, always asking what I'm doing. When I first got elected to this position, I don't think I was down in Springfield for a day or 2 days. She's writing on my wall on Facebook, "Don't forget to take your vitamins. Do you need another pillow?" or something like that. And I never take vitamins in my life. I have one pillow and it's good by me. But she's always worried about me, always asking what I'm doing, keeping up on me. And my dad, he's always challenging me and driving me forward, and showing me all the opportunities and ideas, and presenting me with new things to go for. And he's driving me along. Without him, I don't know if I'd be here, because he always tells me, when you come to those forks in the road, whatever decision you make is the right decision. And I've kind of lived by that, and I think I've made the right decision, throughout my life and making it where I'm at. And I have to give a lot of credit to him for that. And then my brother and my sister, yeah, they're not here tonight, but they're my best friends. Anybody can ask for it. And I can tell them anything, they'll give me a blunt answer back, whether it's what I want to hear or not. And, they're always there for me. My brother lives 15 hours away, but, he calls me almost every day. And, he's always somebody I can, he's willing to give out a helping hand. Same goes with my sister. And then my grandparents are my biggest fans in the world. My grandma, she's wheeling around the nursing home, always bragging me up about what I'm doing, where I'm at. I don't know if all the people in the nursing home really care, but she tells everybody anyways. And my other grandpa, he's always talking to me about sports, really, keep me in track of the things I really love to do. And my other grandpa, I swear, me and him just go back and forth and back it out. We're always talking crap and whatnot, but he's always keeping me in line and keeping me motivated. And then my other grandma, she passed away a few years ago, but there's something I always take away from her. She was very different. She'd walk around, she'd have 2 different earrings in, they wouldn't even match. She'd turn every shirt into a tube top. And she'd wear short shorts and flip-flops, and it didn't matter if there's snow on the ground, that's what she wore. And so there's one thing I took away from my grandma, it was always be yourself. Don't try and, please anybody else. Be who you are, be who you want to be. So like I said, family comes first. My family means the most to me, and they're the first thing that comes to my life. But what most people don't understand is, I have multiple families. And the other one I got introduced to happened in 8th grade. And it was 8th grade career day. I was down that hall, all the way down there. I think everybody's familiar with the school, junior high school down there. So that's a foreign area if you've never been down there before. So I was sitting in the ag shop. It's 8th grade career year, and there's a bunch of seniors up there talking about F.F.A. this and F.F.A. that, and get out of school, and F.F.A. this, and get out of school some more. So that sounded pretty good, but one of the other things I heard was, when you join the F.F.A., you're not just joining a club, not joining just an organization. You're going to become part of a family, the Sherrard F.F.A. family. I didn't quite understand what they meant. I was 13, 14 years old, I knew everything. And I didn't understand what they were talking about. I just thought they were wrong. I just used them as something to say. It sounds good. But freshman year came along, and I'm sitting in my intro to ag class, and we got a new ag advisor, Mr. Schulte. There he is, clear in the back. And you know what? I was surprised what he had to say. He had to say the exact same thing. He goes, "This isn't just a club. This isn't just an organization. You can be a member of a family. Sherrard F.F.A. family." Once again, I'm sitting in class, I'm a freshman, I know everything. I had no idea what he was talking about. Like, you gotta be kidding, right? My family's at home. This is a family. It's just So I went throughout my 4 years of high school, you know, we went to food trips, and everybody's saying we're going as a family. Okay. We're going to CD events, everybody's saying we're going as a family. Okay. We're going to conferences, everybody's saying we're going as a family. Alright. We go to conventions, and everybody's saying we're going as a family. Alright, I still don't get it. But it wasn't until after I graduated high school that I finally realized what everybody's talking about an F.F.A. family. See, throughout my 4 years being a high school F.F.A. member, I made so many memories. I did so many things I'll never forget. I made so many friends, I made so many friendships. And the kids I still keep in contact with are the ones that I became family with. You know, friends come and go, but families for life. And even tonight, I have 3 of them sitting out there I still keep in contact with. I still hang out with all the time that I met through the F.F.A. and I don't know if I'd be as close with them if it wasn't for the F.F.A. Mr. Nolan Rao, Evan Ward, and David Cohen. So it just goes to show that it's not just a group, it's not just a club, it's actually an F.F.A. family. And one of my most proudest moments of being a part of this family, this organization, it didn't occur to me until after high school as well. And when we were freshmen in high school, there was about 30-some of us in F.F.A. total. There's some 40 green hands here tonight. So 30 of us some total in the entire F.F.A. chapter. And I remember Mr. Schulte telling me later on earlier this year, we have 104. It's 101 the banquet thing. But we have 104 F.F.A. members. So I feel like, you know, Mr. Schulte challenging us and driving us and, you know, being there to motivation us to help us, help him get this chapter to where it is, to be one of the premier chapters in the state of Illinois. It's really meant a lot. Probably been my most proud moment to get it from 30 F.F.A. members to 107 F.F.A. members. And you know, when I talk about one of the most selfless men I know, Mr. Schulte, you know, he does an extraordinary amount of things for us. It's not even funny. You ask him for anything, he will never really ever say no. He's always saying yes. He's always handing out a hand. He's always willing to help. He's always willing to do whatever we want to do, if it means he's not getting home till 1 in the morning. And I think he deserves a lot more respect than what he asked for. I'm proud to call him our F.F.A. dad, but you know what? He's not old enough to be our dad. We're too old to even consider that. He's more of a big brother, I think. So we'll call him our F.F.A. big brother and be a part of this F.F.A. family. But you know, there's one other family I got elected in back in June, and that was the Illinois F.F.A. family. And you know, there's 5 of us that get elected as officers, 5 of us that get elected into a team, and you know, we quickly get to know each other, quickly get close to each other, and we start, you know, acting like brothers and sisters, like siblings. We fight like siblings, we talk like siblings, we hang out like siblings. We got our state staff, consider to keep us in line like our parents. We got our state secretaries are like our grandparents and stuff. We're our biggest fans out there. But you know, we've made so many memories. We've taken advantage of so many different opportunities. We, like Stephanie said, we got to go overseas. We got to travel around the country and everything. But you know what? I'm gonna look right down through it. I'm gonna share with you guys a story that my brother sent to my mom the other day. And it goes a little something like this. I'm going to get my stuff out of here. I promise. I hear yes, but it's going to work. So here's the story. I'm going to read it along real quick. A meteorology professor stood before his meteorology 101 class and had some ideas in front of him. Items, not ideas. When the class began, wordlessly, he picked up a very large and empty glass. A mason jar, and proceeded to fill it out with golf balls. He then asked the students if the jar was full. You say that's pretty close to full? Yeah? Yeah, we see some head nod. Yeah. Alright. The professor then picked up a jar of pebbles. Well, I have a baggie of pebbles, so a little different. And poured them into the jar. I'll pour them in there for me, Wyatt. While they're doing that, I'll continue. He shook the jar lightly. The pebbles, of course, rolled into the open spaces between the golf balls. He then asked the students again if the jar was full. Shake it. We'll get it. Taking longer than I thought it was going to take.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kevin's like,
The students responded with a unanimous yes. Now, said the professor, I want you to recognize that this jar represents... Ooh, wait a minute. This one. Okay. The professor picked up a box of sand out of a jar of sand and poured it into the jar. And of course, the sand filled up everything else. Right. He asked once more if the jar was full. Say that's really full? Yeah? Okay. The students responded with a unanimous yes. Now, said the professor, I want you to recognize that the jar represents your life. The golf balls are the important things. Your family, your partner, your health, your child, your friends, your favorite passion. Things that, if everything else was lost, and only they remained, your life would still be full. The pebbles are the other things that matter, like your job, your house, your car. The sand is everything else, the small stuff. If you put the sand into the jar first, he continued, there is no room for the pebbles or the golf balls. The same goes for your life. If you spend all your time and energy on the small stuff, you will never have room for the things that are important to you. Pay attention to the things that are critical to your happiness. Play with your children. Take time to get medical checkups. Take your partner out for a dance. Play another 18. There will always be time for work. Clean the house. Give a dinner party. And fix the disposal. Take care of the golf balls first. The things that really matter. Set your priorities. The rest is just sand. So to me, the golf balls are my family. My mom, my dad, my brother, my sister, my grandparents, my aunt and uncles. The pebbles, that's my Sherrard F.F.A. family. So family comes first. Family's number one in my life. But right behind it, number two, and that's the next most important thing in my life, is the Sherrard F.F.A. family. The sand, that represents my years as the Illinois State F.F.A. treasurer. I've made so many memories. I've gotten to do so many different things. But without the golf balls and without the pebbles, I would never have been able to put that sand in my jar. And the only reason I had them built halfway is I'm 18 years old and I really hope I have a lot more sand to put in my jar. So that's the only reason it's half full of sand. So I'm proud to be an F.F.A. member. No doubt in my mind do I ever regret signing up to become an F.F.A. member. But more importantly, I'm proud to be a Sherrard F.F.A. member. I heard some laughter. I'm guessing you didn't think I could ever fit back into this thing. So it's a squeeze, but I got it. But no, I'm proud to be a member of the Sherrard F.F.A. family. I want to thank you guys tonight for everything. Look forward to spending another chapter day with you guys. I'm a little shaken up that I can't sit up here with you guys. I always like sitting up here, but I'll be just as happy up in the audience. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it. Have a good day.